These are, I don't know, dropping like flies in 2025. Well, you're definitely not wrong.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, we're only partway through the year, and
Yeah.
what is it? At least 17 U.S. carriers have already shut down or filed for bankruptcy.
And we're talking some big names, too.
Exactly. Not obscure outfits.
Yeah.
Davis Express, LTI Trucking, they're gone. This isn't just like a tough quarter.
No, it feels more like a full-on industry shakeup.
Right. So our mission today on the deep dive is really to unpack this whole storm, to get a handle on what's happening and, crucially, what it actually means for you out there on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to equip you with some insights, maybe some strategies, and definitely a stronger sense of, well, empowerment. Because your life, your livelihood, that's really at the heart of all this.
And for this deep dive, we're drawing from some really candid sources, specifically articles from the Truckers VA. You can find them on lifeasotrucker.com and retirefromtrucking.com. And these aren't, your typical dry industry reports.
Right, not the usual corporate speak.
Not at all. They give you these really unvarnished accounts of the economic shifts, the headaches with aging infrastructure.
Oh, yeah.
Unexpected legal risks, too, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
And also some fascinating new tech that's actually designed to help drivers, take back some control.
And that's really our goal here. We want to connect these big picture stories directly to your day-to-day experience.
Exactly.
We'll explore different viewpoints, try to see it from all angles. And above all, we just want to make sure you feel respected and supported in an industry that, let's be honest, often feels like it's asking you to carry more while getting less.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So these bankruptcies, let's dive into the core reasons. It's not just bad business, is it? Seems more like that perfect storm idea.
It really is a perfect storm. It's multi-pronged, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got this relentless squeeze, right? High cost to operate.
Fuel costs, parts.
Exactly. Diesel bouncing around, parts for rigs getting super expensive. And that's clashing with freight rates that are just stubbornly low. They haven't really bounced back properly post-COVID.
Right.
And, what's often overlooked is even when rates do tick up a bit, the percentage of your revenue eaten up by fuel, especially, is often way higher than it used to be in other downturns.
Ah, so the margin gets squeezed even harder.
Precisely. Makes it incredibly tough to stay healthy financially.
Okay. And then there's this whole driver shortage thing we always hear about.
Yeah, and our sources, they really suggest that's, well, kind of a myth.
Oh, how so?
It's not really about a lack of people getting their CDLs. The real problem is this massive turnover.
Ah, retention.
Exactly. New drivers burn out incredibly fast. And it's not just the long hours, though that's part of it.
Right.
The data suggests it's often the unpredictability of those hours, poor access to decent facilities, just a general lack of support.
Feeling disconnected, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. They come in expecting a challenge, sure, but they find chaos. So you get this constant churn that fleets just struggle to manage.
Okay.
Meanwhile, your experienced drivers, they're rightly demanding higher pay, but companies are caught in this financial vice, can't meet those demands when the rates are down.
It's a bind.
It really is. And then finally, there's just the constant battle of keeping older trucks compliant.
Right. The regulations.
Yeah, always changing rules, try to retrofit older rigs with new emissions tech, mandatory dash cams, dealing with insurance demands that keep going up. It can feel like, ugh.
Like duct taping a hole in the Titanic.
That's the analogy they used, exactly. It feels like that. One big breakdown, one big insurance hike, and that can sink a carrier, especially a smaller one.
Wow. Duct taping a hole in the Titanic, that really paints a picture. And the ripple effect when these companies go under. It's devastating, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not a quiet event.
No. It's like an explosion. And the shrapnel hits everyone. You've got drivers suddenly jobless, sometimes stranded hundreds of miles from home, right? Mid-load even.
Yeah, and equipment getting repoed before the last check even clears. It's brutal.
And it doesn't stop with the drivers. Shippers are left scrambling, trying to cover freight.
Which means delays, higher costs, all down the supply chain.
Yeah. And what really struck me from the sources was the impact on small towns.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these trucking companies, they're like anchors in local economies. When they shut down, it's not just jobs lost. It can genuinely lead to, community collapse.
It's a huge blow. In this whole situation, it tends to spark two very different ways of looking at it. It's important to see both sides.
Okay, like what?
Well, some industry observers, they argue it's just a natural market correction.
The survival of the fittest argument.
Kind of. They point to the pandemic boom, right? Spot rates were sky high. Lots of new, maybe less experienced carriers jumped in. now that rates are back down to
So
earth.
the weaker ones fold. Natural selection.
That's the argument. But then there's the counter-argument, and this one really resonates with drivers.
Yeah.
It's the concern about industry monopoly. The big fleets, the mega carriers with deep pockets and established networks, they survive. They might even grow by snapping up assets.
While the smaller ones disappear.
Exactly. And often, those smaller outfits are the ones drivers actually prefer working for. More flexibility, maybe more personal relationships, feeling respected.
But they're the ones getting wiped out.
Precisely. So it shifts immense power to the mega carriers. And the big question becomes, well, who gets squeezed next?
If the company's drivers, can't survive,
Yeah.
what kind of an industry does that build?
That's a really important question.
And that leads us right into this consolidation trend, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You mentioned big fish getting bigger. We saw that example, Coleseco.
Yeah, Coleseco,
Yeah.
Michigan-based carrier acquired by Highway Holdings, and Highway's been on a bit of a buying spree.
Right, so it's happening.
Oh, definitely. And this trend, it's incredibly important for you, the driver, because it signals a really profound power shift in the industry.
How so?
Well, as these larger fleets absorb the smaller ones, the whole dynamic changes. For drivers, that can mean big shifts in company culture.
Yeah, the whole feel of the place changes.
Completely. Pay structures might change, familiar faces leave, those direct relationships you might have had with dispatch or management, they can disappear.
Less personal.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it kind of chips away at driver independence. Owner-operators, small carriers, they already face huge pressures. These large-scale buyouts just make it harder for them to compete.
Because the mega fleets have scale, tech, pricing power.
All of it. Things smaller players just can't match easily.
So when you look at this consolidation, what does it really mean for your career path, for your job security down the line, or even just the kind of company you might end up driving for?
These aren't abstract business deals.
No, they hit home. They have direct, tangible implications for your future.
Okay. Let's shift gears a bit.
Oh.
From economic stuff to some very real physical and legal roadblocks you might hit.
Okay.
Let's talk infrastructure, like that example from Colorado, the Red Cliff Bridge on US 24.
Ah, yes, the 80-year-old steel arch.
Right, and because the steel's thinning, it's now on a trucking diet, as they put it, weight limits slashed.
Yeah, and for truckers, that's not just some minor detour. It has real-world impacts.
So like what? More miles.
Definitely more miles on detours, which means higher fuel costs straight out of your pocket or the carriers. Longer routes mess with your hours of service.
Especially with tight delivery windows.
Exactly. And the really frustrating part, as the sources point out, is most shippers, they aren't paying extra just because your route suddenly got way longer thanks to some old bridge.
Ugh, so you eat the cost and the time?
Pretty much. Now, from the DOT side, look, it's about public safety. Nobody wants a bridge collapsing.
Of course not. That's valid. Absolutely. But from the driver's perspective, there's this deep frustration. Like, why does it always feel like we're paying the price first?
Yeah, I can see that. Feeling like you bear the brunt of underfunded infrastructure.
Right. Increased costs, lost time,
Right.
while the real investment seems to lag behind.
And it's not just a trucking problem either, is it? When drivers have to avoid bridges.
It hits the small towns along those roads hard.
How so?
Supplies can slow down, costs go up for local businesses. The whole community feels that pinch. It just highlights how vital trucking is, Infrastructure failures ripple out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one bridge, it really connects to the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
America's whole road network is aging. It's deteriorating faster than we're fixing it.
So what's needed? Just more money.
Well, yes, real long-term investment in truck-friendly infrastructure.
Yeah.
Faster ways to get funding to rebuild these routes. And, crucially, real input from drivers before they drop new rules like weight restrictions.
Get the people who use it involved in the planning.
Exactly. Because honestly, this won't be the last bridge that suddenly goes on a diet.
Good point. Okay, speaking of critical risks, let's pivot to something entirely different, but maybe even more serious. The legal side.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Specifically, the severe consequences of accidentally, or sometimes not accidentally, hauling the wrong load.
Right.
Our sources mention a specific case, the Singh case, a driver facing, potentially, life in prison.
Yeah, authorities found hundreds of pounds of illegal cargo in his trailer. A really serious situation.
So when something that extreme happens, What does that actually mean for you, for the industry as a whole?
Well, a case like that, even though it's extreme, sends shockwaves everywhere. Immediately, it widens that trust gap.
Between who?
Shippers, brokers, law enforcement, they all tighten up.
Yeah.
Which just makes life harder for every single honest driver out there.
More scrutiny, more suspicion.
Exactly. And naturally, it leads to calls for more regulation, more inspections, more red tape, and often, sadly, less respect for drivers in general.
And it feeds stereotypes, too, I bet.
Oh, definitely. One bad apple, unfortunately, feeds that whole outlaw trucker myth, which unfairly damages the image of the vast majority of professionals just trying to do their job.
So looking at it from different angles, law enforcement sees a bust. Carriers see a PR nightmare. What about other drivers?
And fellow drivers,
Mm,
they often have a more nuanced view. They might understand the kind of desperation, low pay, burnout, lack of support that could tragically push someone towards making a terrible choice like that.
seeing it as a symptom of bigger problems.
Exactly. It highlights those systemic issues that can make drivers vulnerable.
Like what specifically?
The relentless long hauls, not enough sleep leading to serious fatigue, low pay combined with rising costs that just fuels desperation.
Sketchy brokers maybe preying on that.
That too. Sketchy brokers and sometimes just a lack of mentorship or someone reliable to say, hey, this doesn't feel right.
Right, which makes it absolutely critical for drivers to protect themselves.
Crucial. And the advice from our sources is really clear, really actionable.
Okay, what should you do?
Always ask questions. Confirm who actually booked the load. Where is it really going? What exactly is supposed to be inside?
Don't just take the paperwork at face value.
Never. Read every line. Look for errors, red flags, missing info, anything that seems off. And most importantly, trust your gut.
If it feels shady.
Walk away. Just walk away. No load, no dispatch, no amount of potential easy money is worth your CDL or your freedom.
Yeah, definitely not worth a life sentence.
Absolutely not.
That's incredibly important advice. And it actually leads us nicely into talking about solutions, tools that can genuinely help drivers navigate all these challenges. Because it's not all doom and gloom, right?
Not at all. There's new technology emerging that's really aimed at simplifying things, giving you back some control.
Okay, like what?
Well, one example directly tackling those compliance headaches is this new plan from Trucking Hub. It's like $29 a month per truck.
$29. What does that get you?
It's aimed at owner-operators and small fleets, mainly. It offers DOT compliance management, ELD logging, and access to nationwide drug testing like 24,000 locations.
Huh. So trying to bundle it all together.
Exactly. The promise is to simplify that chaos of staying legal, without needing to be a paperwork expert or juggle 5 different apps.
Okay. Sounds potentially useful. But what are the catches? What should you ask?
Good questions. It looks promising, yeah. But you definitely want to ask, is the ELD hardware actually included or is that extra?
Right.
Do you get live support from a real person if something goes wrong? Is there a long contract or can you cancel if it's not working out?
Gotcha. Due diligence.
Always. But, for that price point, if it delivers, it could be a major load off your plate.
Makes sense. And sticking with that theme of consolidating things, Trucking Hub also launched something called Dashcam 1.
Yeah, that's their all-in-one gadget. Tries to combine a bunch of stuff into one device.
Like what?
A dual-facing HD dash cam, an FMCSA-compliant ELD, telematics, the system tracking truck performance and location.
Right.
Diagnostics, even preventive maintenance alerts. And it's got AI integration, too.
AI? For what?
Things like safety coaching, maybe even accident prediction based on driving patterns.
Interesting. So the benefit is one device, less headache.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Less clutter on the dash, hopefully easier compliance, real-time support. Now, obviously, with cameras and tracking, there are always privacy discussions.
Sure, always a concern.
But the potential benefits for safety and just streamlining your business operations, they're pretty significant.
Okay. So tech can help manage the day-to-day. What about the bigger picture, like long-term security?
Oh, well, that brings us to perhaps the most empowering strategy we found. This comes from Hervey at lifeasatrucker.com.
Okay.
And his big point is about managing your time, not just for the shippers, but crucially, managing it for yourself.
What does that mean in practice?
He talks about building a kind of shield for your future.
A shield.
Yeah. By actively learning new skills, using your off-duty time, wisely not just resting, but investing that time, and specifically building online income streams.
Online income, like separate from trucking.
Exactly. Especially leveraging AI tools, which are making it easier than ever to create something online.
So this isn't just like a little side hustle idea.
He frames it as much more than that. It's an essential exit strategy.
An exit strategy. Wow.
Think about it. Having recurring online income, something coming in that's not tied to freight rates.
Oh.
It provides a vital buffer, protection against that rate volatility we talked about, against economic downturns.
And even against the risk of your trucking company just disappearing.
Precisely.
Right.
It shields you from that risk, too. The ultimate goal, as Hervey puts it, is to give you the power to retire when you want to and get out on your terms.
Instead of being forced out by the industry's chaos.
Exactly. He actually offers a free guide on this over at retirefromtrucking.com. It's really about taking proactive, personal control of your financial future.
That's a really crucial, empowering takeaway, isn't it?
I think so.
It's about how you can actively learn new things, build that plan B, whatever it looks like for you, just to feel genuinely secure and respected in this constantly changing industry.
It's not necessarily about quitting trucking if you love it.
No, not at all. It's about making sure your future, whether it's in the cab or transitioning out eventually, is truly on your terms.
Well put.
So, wow. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We really have.
We navigated those seismic shifts, right? The bankruptcies, the consolidation, then the frustrating stuff like aging infrastructure, those critical legal risks.
Yeah, the roadblocks.
But we also explored some powerful solutions, from smart tech trying to simplify compliance.
Right, the dashcam one, the compliance plans.
To this really empowering idea of building your own financial shield outside the truck.
Yeah, Hervey's strategy.
What's really fascinating, I think, is that even though the industry throws up these huge, often daunting challenges.
And yeah, sometimes it really feels like drivers are constantly asked to do more for less.
Right. But despite that, there are concrete, actionable ways you can protect your livelihood, your well-being.
It boils down to awareness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And preparation. And strategically using the tools and the knowledge that are actually available to you right now.
Exactly. You know, even as this whole trucking landscape keeps changing at like a dizzying pace, your ability to adapt, to educate yourself, to build that personal plan B, that's probably the most powerful asset you possess.
Your own adaptability.
Yeah. So the final thought for you is, how will you take these insights, these ideas, and use them to drive your own future, truly on your own terms?